Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my god!
Hello.
That was 1 second.
Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Hope you're having a great day today. Today we'll be looking into the new and improved Gunner build, updated for Season 3. Most of you already know the abilities, but for the new players, here's a short explanation. OverClock greatly increases the fire rate of both you and your allies. It also gives you a nice reload speed buff for the duration of the ability. Frag Grenade has you throwing a grenade which explodes after a small time period, dealing damage in a large radius. Now, the tooltip of this ability is incorrect. The tooltip states that the grenade explodes on impact, which it doesn't. I've had many nades just bounce off the enemy. Funny to see, but not an accurate description. And lastly, we have our passive called Stay on Target. Dealing damage grants you a stack of 2% bonus damage and stacks up to 10 times. When we head into the perk grid and take a look at what we're taking for our main ability, which is Overclock, you'll see we have a few things, starting with arguably the most important one, Quick Load Interlink. Quick Load Interlink extends the reload speed buff you get from Overclock to your allies. When using Overclock, you want to maximize the damage that you can do with it. Having your allies reload during the ability is just a big loss of damage. Increasing their reload speed therefore increases your team's DPS. We're also going for Stopwatch. This ability gives us a buff for the duration of the ability's cooldown. The buff grants us 20% of the unmodified benefits of Overclock. This means that for the duration of Overclock's cooldown, you'll have increased fire rate and reload speed, adding to your DPS. And lastly, Extended Duration 2 to have Overclock last a little bit longer. The longer it lasts, the more damage your team can do with it. For Frag Grenades, we're going with the Remote Detonator Replacer perk. This perk allows your grenade to stick to surfaces, even Xenos, and will knock them down if you land a successful hit. To have them knocked down a second time, we're going with Disorienting Blast. Detonating the grenade will knock down all affected targets. This effectively gives you 2 knockdown abilities and can be very effective against bigger targets. Stick your nade on them, activate Overclock while they're down, and detonate again to knock them down a second time after they got up. This will give you a lot of free DPS on them. But that's not all, we're also taking Shrapnel with us. This perk gives the enemy a damage over time debuff that equals 50% of the damage dealt with your grenade. Now, this can be around 5 to 6k in damage, but it's extra DPS nonetheless. And against bigger targets that need to go down quickly, every little piece of extra damage is more than welcome. Talking about extra damage, we're going to take Focus Fire as well. Focus Fire causes enemies you hit to take 2% extra damage, and this stacks up to 5 times. That's a 10% extra damage increase on top of the 20% you get from Stay on Target. Not to mention using Overclock on bigger targets and then having the added 20% of its unmodified benefits after usage for the duration of its cooldown. Yeah, this build just shreds, guys, you'll see. When it comes to cooldown reduction, we're taking the Target's Acquired perk with us. As long as you're at full stacks of Stay on Target, your recharge speed for both abilities is greatly increased. This allows us to be a little bit more liberal with our abilities. To round off the perk grid, we're taking perks with us that increase the effectiveness of our main weapon, which is going to be one of the automatic rifles. So take Recon Rifle Training for the added weak point damage. The extra max ammo is a nice plus. Dock Rifle Expertise for more weak point damage, the added stability is a nice plus. Gunner Rifle Mastery for even more weak point damage, the added accuracy being a nice plus. Gunner Rifle Expertise for more fire rate and stability, the faster you fire, the higher your DPS. And the Recon Rifle Expertise for more accuracy, stability, and fire rate. From the perks alone, you'll get 25% extra accuracy, 40% extra stability, 25% extra fire rate, 20% extra max ammo, and a whopping 45% extra weak point damage. And that's not even taking into account our weapons and attachments. For the weapons, I highly recommend either going with the Plasma Rifle or the Kramer, your preference, but you can also use the Pulse Rifle, the Halberd, or the Heavy Assault. The reason why I recommend the Plasma Rifle and the Kramer over the Pulse, Halberd, or Heavy Assault is because the Plasma Rifle has the highest DPS out of all the automatic rifles, and the Kramer has the second highest DPS, but is more useful since it has a higher stumble chance. For the Plasma Rifle, go with the Recoil Booster for more fire rate, the Rapid Dispersal Unit for more reload speed, and the Laser Sight for more accuracy, weak point damage, and the ability to reveal targets on hit. This will proc your Recon's Red is Dead perk if he has it equipped, adding 10% to your damage. For the Kramer, go with the Ported Compensator for more fire rate, alloyed magazines for a faster reload speed and more magazine capacity, and a Hybrid Sight for more accuracy and weak point damage. For the other 3 recommendations, go with the Ported Compensator, alloyed magazines, and the Laser Sight. When it comes to the CQW slot, I mostly reserve it for the Pump Shotty, but not on the Gunner. For the Gunner, I go with the Auto Shotgun. Overclocking with this gun just feels so satisfying, and melts big enemies within seconds. For the attachments, go with the Ported Compensator, alloyed magazines, and the Hybrid Sight. And for consumables, always go with the Cryo Grid for more CC, and a Vulnerability Assessment Drone for more team-wide DPS. And that's it, guys. This is the updated Gunner build for Season 3. I call it the Big Black.
It's time to stop!
Give this build a try and see how good it truly is. And if you liked this video and want to see more Aliens Fireteam Elite builds, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss another upload. And I'll see you when I see you.